we're doing things a little topsy-turvy here today. So we're going to do two things at once. Normally this is at the end. And that number one is my outfit of the day. My t-shirt is Be Kind brand. It was a gift from my kiddos. My earrings are Madewell via Nordstrom Rack. My shorts are Banana Republic, and my shoes are Vans. But I also wanted to point out I still have a little bit of that COVID voice and COVID cough, so I've got to have water with me everywhere I go. And then I want to go straight into the question of the day, and that is, when you were a child, did you have access to areas like this? Because I did not, or if they were available, I wasn't aware of them. So part of our reason for doing this today is to expose you to the resources that are free and available to everyone, whether you're coming in from out of town or you live in the Oklahoma City Metroplex. So that's my question of the day. When you were young, do you remember a really magical place like this that has stuck with you forever? Because certainly if I had visited this area as a child, it would definitely be a lifelong memory. Well, here we are at part 2, and Stuart, if you wouldn't mind just kind of twerking a little bit to show that this is definitely a Metroplex area. You can see our brand new park. Caitlin, tell us about our brand new park in the distance.
So that's Scissortail Park. It opened in 2019. It's a really awesome park to go check out. Yeah, they have mute concerts and picnics. They've got a really big splash pad. They've got a children's area over there too. Wildflowers, just a lot of fun. Everything. Yeah. And when my husband and we walked the marathon, and it ended up at Scissortail Park. So if you are in this area, I would be remiss if I did not say that you guys need to also visit Scissortail Park. Okay, this area, we have just come from this space, and now Stuart, let's reveal what is on this side. And I'm so sorry. This is in case you started with this video, this is my friend Caitlin Bacon, who is manager of this marvelous children's section of Myriad Gardens in downtown Oklahoma City. She manages this whole space. I am humbled by what you do. So now let's reveal the rest of this. And talk about a focal point, that smoke tree. Yes, yeah. Tell us about that.
So our smoke tree, that is a treasure of ours. It also, kind of theme of this here, 2020, it got hit really hard with the ice. We were worried we were going to lose it. We had some really big, just about every single branch had a crack up and everything, but we very selectively pruned it. And we've, I think, managed to get it through, and it's thriving and is more bushy now than it is tree-ish, but it's gorgeous.
And I think so many of us after the ice storm, one lesson from that was to be patient.
Yes.
Give things a chance to recover, and they may come out with a whole new look.
Yeah, it's really interesting how a lot of things changed over the last
So
few years.
what is all of this?
So this is one of our perennial sunflowers. It's just about to go to bloom, but they're just little tiny sunflowers that just go everywhere. It's perennial, it comes back every year. I do it kind of in complementation. So I've got peonies here that they come up in the spring when these are down dead on the ground. And then just as they're finishing out their blooming, these come up to take over the spot.
And then over here we've got some different strappy foliage. Well, succession planting.
Yeah.
Succession planting at its finest. You've got strappy foliage, grassy foliage over here. So you've got all of your different leaf forms, which I think is kind of a subtle educational tool for kids of it's not just about color, but it's about plant form and shape. Is this a vitex?
It is. Once again, October 2020, we had this huge tree, and it took a really big hit, and we knocked it back, and now it's just this really interesting wall. It's kind of like our centerpiece shrub here, where it's growing its color, but I love it with how bright it is.
And would you agree that in some cases it was almost a good thing? Some stuff needed to be pruned by Mother Nature.
Oh my goodness, yes. I think that a lot of things, our crossvine tunnel that we had looked at, it is one of those. I think a lot of things out here have done better for given us, sometimes we hesitate to cut things, wanting to just let it go because it's beautiful, but sometimes we need to cut them, and Mother Nature just forced our hand a little bit on that.
Right, it's tough love. So here's my question of the day. If you guys are in the Oklahoma City area or any area that had a really hard freeze, or around the country, wherever you are, if you had to cut something back very, very hard to try to save it or restore it, if you would let us know what that success story was, what zone you're in, and what plant you were able to really renovate and that came back better, prettier, and stronger.
I want to know that.
Yeah, we all want to know that. We all want to know that.
I want to know.
Again, I just love the fact that everything is marked, and I that's another tip. I'm so bad about marking my plants, and I need to be better about it. What is this hedge back here?
So we've got our 9-bark back there. It's got these really airy white flowers in the spring, and then the foliage is of course gorgeous throughout the summer and into the fall.
If this were in more sun, would it be that much more purple?
So we actually have some kind of over on the other way. Most of what I've seen has enjoyed a little bit kind of that happy medium. But yeah, it has that really dark purple, more sun. If it gets enough sun to not fry it.
You know, maybe that's one of the tips. Everything here is happy because it has that high dappled shade. Is this Perovskia over here?
Yes. Yep. That's our Russian sage. We've got, and this is kind of one, it gets a lot more sun later on in the day, but it really enjoys this spot as well.
And I'm recently, Linda Lambert, I think we learned this lesson. This was one of my takeaway tips from Linda Lambert's a recent video that we did, was she also used perennials almost like a shrub. So she would plant them in mass because she had large spaces, and it gives the effect of looking like a blooming shrub.
Yeah.
And don't you know, the kids are delighted with the smoke blooms on the smoke tree.
Yeah, they love them. This is a new planting we're doing right here, so that's why it kind of looks empty. But these are our little quick fire hydrangeas. We had a really good success with them over on the east side of our park, so I'm trying them here in this. We had this tree got knocked back pretty hard with the winter. So kind of adjusting our shade to sun ratio here with what had been here.
And you know, sometimes it's in Oklahoma, we like to say that everything really wants morning sun and afternoon shade. But I have found that some of the tougher hydrangeas, I work with Southern Living, and they've got Southern Living white wedding hydrangea. I don't know if you've tried it, but it's great. It can handle kind of morning shade and some afternoon sun.
Awesome.
So, which sometimes means a little bit more water, but it can still do that. Okay, I have some of this which just appeared in my garden. I did not plant it, and it just appeared. So let's focus in on the sign there. Tell me about this comfrey.
So this is our comfrey. This is the same kind that we had over in the Maze area. It is a gorgeous bloomer. I actually planted this just 2 years. It's 2 years old now, and it has exploded. They put off these really pretty tall flowers.
Early, very early.
It's one of my earliest ones. And I put it just as an experimental. This was an area that didn't have very good irrigation. We had a lot of breakages, and so I put things that were kind of hardy, a little bit more dry shade. I've got my coral bells and everything.
So there's a tip, dry shade, some heucheras and heucherellas. And is this Helianthus?
Yes, and they were really big and full. Ice storm knocked them out. We're just starting to get them back. I'm going to start shaping them more soon.
May I pinch? Do you mind if I pinch a leaf?
Oh, absolutely. Go for
now,
it.
Helianthus, there's hardly any plant I don't like, but Helianthus I have never cared for because it naturally has a look that is stippled, and to me it always looks like it has spider mite. And so for that reason, it's never been one of my favorite, though it has pretty silvery foliage.
I didn't care for it for a long time until last spring, it flowered on me and it smelled amazing. And for whatever reason, I had never realized it smelled so good.
Okay, Stuart's telling us which...
I was asking, but either way is fine.
Okay, which way to go. So Stuart, can we do a little bit of a long view on this perspective over here? So underneath this overhang with lots of tables, and it's got, you just leave out coloring things, and
I've got a library up there so that they can read different books that are related to gardening. We've got coloring and crafts. I try to change them out every couple weeks so they can make bookmarks or coloring.
And do you allow field trips from classrooms?
Yes, we do encourage field trips coming out. We have lots of areas for them to picnic, to explore. If the Thunder Fountain is open, they can run through that.
I love this oak grass underneath this tree. It's just so soft and in the fall. And the other thing is this related to quake grass? Because but the movement of it is so fun.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to figure that out.
And here these are the oak leaf hydrangeas.
Yes.
Is this snowflake? This looks like maybe the variety I have. The really long panicled flowers.
They turn that bright pink, reddish color.
But did these start out really white?
Yeah, they start out pretty white. They gradually, this is several weeks into their flowering.
Into their flowering.
Yeah.
And what do we have here?
This is our Helianthus, so it's our bear's breeches. It's kind of a stinky one.
I'll switch places with you, Caitlin.
You guys are doing good.
We're doing good. We're trying to get the audio here. I love the shape of the leaves. They've got kind of a primeval look to them.
Yeah, I love them. We have daffodils all over this, so in the spring, because these die back really hard, and this bed looks really bad, but that's right about the time the daffodils start coming up, and then by the time they die, these are fully up.
Another great tip on succession planting, so daffodils and acanthus. So, okay, and we've got some troughs here. You've got...
I didn't even notice this before.
Yeah, this is amazing. You have to constantly step back because you can get so enraptured with each individual plant that you miss the big vista. And like, look at the blooming...
Our water lilies down here. And these are perennial water lilies, so they come back.
And cattails in here. Fun for kids.
Oh, the cattails are a fan favorite in the fall.
And there's some hypertufa pots here that are filled with succulents. And we've got a philodendron dome. Boy, the artwork here, the sculptures and everything. And are most of these done by local artists?
Yes, so this one, she's from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Lori Spencer. Oh, and okay. See, this is another, we're gonna have to come back here a million times because look, I just saw this.
Hold on, do it again. There you go, now do it.
Let me get it.
So you'll hear that a lot in the summer.
She's a kid again.
I told you come here.
It's
embrace
just
it.
Well, and not only is it just fun, just unbelievably fun, the other thing is it is so creativity inducing. I mean, I'm just getting a rush of ideas while I'm here. It is just so wonderful. So this is one of the Sawtooth, beautiful bark, beautiful, beautiful bark. And what do we have here that's got berries on it? Wow, this is huge.
Yes, they have really been happy here. I had a scale problem last year with them. I managed to get under control, but otherwise...
What did you use to get it under control?
We had to use neem for the scale. Neem and some just patience, scrubbing. And
actually physical labor. And this puts out wonderful, they turn red, don't they?
Yes, they turn bright red. The birds love them.
Great winter interest. winter interest plant. Lots of places for to come and sit if you're bringing your grandkids or your kiddos, or you're the babysitter or the nanny or
Yes.
whomever, and you can just come and sit and watch the kiddos and enjoy being in nature. What is this wonderful purple bloomer?
This is one of our Thalias.
You're saying Thalia,
yeah.
Thalia?
I'm trying to remember what the common name is. I can't remember.
And another, excuse me, Stuart, another great, mammoth vista of, this is just an oasis right in the heart under the BOK Tower over there in the heart of Oklahoma City. And there's just, and it's, even with the kids playing and everything, it's so quiet.
Yeah, it's a very reserved kind of, you feel like you're stepping into another world.
Very serene, so even while the kids are playing, I can also see them simultaneously being calmed by this. Tell us about, and how you manage it, your bamboo.
So our bamboo, I cut it back to, not this last winter, but the winter before. I cut it all the way back and fenced it off. But it was literally like 5 weeks later, it was like I had never done anything.
And do you have to do anything to contain it from creeping?
So this, where these are, it's not too bad. This gets a lot of foot traffic and we don't have too many problems. Our biggest problem tends to be over in this area when it starts creeping into our beds, which for what we do, it does have some management to it. It's a high cost, high reward plant.
But it's high labor.
It's one that I think needs a lot of consideration before it gets
planted. Yes, I would second that. How fun is this?
Yeah, this one is a lot of fun, kind of teaching about our different nesting birds here, what we see.
And are all these native to Oklahoma?
We've got ones. They're either native or they come through Oklahoma.
They come through.
Yeah, migratory or.
And here's another beautiful hibiscus. And the footsteps of another beautiful child. I love the yellow hibiscus.
Yellow is my favorite color, so I tend to put it out there a lot.
Well, it informs your sunny disposition. What is this grower?
This is a climbing snapdragon. So it was an experimental plant that I put out just this year, and I've loved it.
So what is your training? Are you a horticulturist by training, by education?
So my degree is actually in plant biology. I started off on the research side in grasslands ecology. I did that for a couple years. Stepped into horticulture proper, like public gardening horticulture here at the Myriad, and I've been here for about 6 years.
Wow, what a gift you are to our community. And what is this interesting plant?
So we've got our mountain mint here. It's
mountain mint. Not familiar with that.
It smells very strong. It gets stepped on anytime we have animals come through. You can smell it.
I'm always sticking my hand in Stuart's nose.
It's more minty than spearminty, like some of the other ones I've smelled.
Yeah. But I love the bicolor, how it's silvery on top and.
See if I can get that. Yeah.
And this is in pretty much full sun. And look at it, great pollinator plant. There's just bees everywhere.
Yeah, this is our pollinator pocket. So everything we put in here, we try to really hone in on the pollinator.
What is this?
That's our blue star Amsonia. It's a threadleaf Amsonia.
I had no idea it got this big. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we have it on both sides. It's kind of like the entryway here.
Another brilliant plant to use as a shrub. And again, it's got that wonderful bicolor. The new growth is gold. But the older growth is that wonderful blue-green, one of my favorite colors in the garden.
And the flowers are so cool.
And they're blue, are they not?
Yes, and they're like the 5-pointed stars.
So this is another garden that really, I think, to to really enjoy it, you need to be here in every season. And then there's
thinking I'm going to fall in the water behind me.
There's just all sorts of places for kids to climb, and it's just so wonderful. And I've got some. What kind of is that a Helianthus? What is that?
So this one is our Rebecca. No, this one actually.
Because I've got some of this, and I've never exactly known what it is.
This one I think is one of our taller Rebecca's.
Well, boy, it puts out fabulous yellow blooms, and it's a very statuesque and very dramatic.
Yeah, our Helianthus we've got over here,
and a great pollinator. Oh my gosh, is this Baptisia?
Yes. So I've got this Baptisia is huge. It's really gone wild the last 2 years.
And this
goes all the way. It's 2/3 of the way.
And
to
it
the
takes
bed.
a while for Baptisia to get large, so this must be have been here for a long time.
Yeah, it's been here several years.
And has this bloomed, and these are the pods?
Yes, yep, it blooms very aggressive. We've got yellow and blue Baptisia in here.
This is wonderful. What is this?
This is a lead plant. So this is kind of a surprise one. It's popped up in the last year, 2 years.
That is lovely. I would love to cut that and bring that inside. Really, most moths pollinate by moonlight, and I think sometimes we can think of moths as being a little bit annoying, but they're great pollinators too. Is this what is this? A ladybanks or a...
Yes. Ladybanks. It's It kind of got pulled. We had an art display on this recently. I need to retie these back up to the trellis, but they do really well climbing up here and just making this green.
Yeah, and so excuse me, lots of in and outs, and Stuart over in that direction, lots of coneflower, Nepeta, Angelonia. What else am I missing over there? Lantana.
We've got some butterfly bush,
zinnias. Yeah, all great pollinator plants. And this is a pollinator way station. Mm-hmm. That's what is that?
That is our little one of our my name it just blanked on me.
I love it. Love
it's like
it.
A sneeze weed.
Yeah, a sneezeweed, or is this a Coreopsis? What is this? Some more of the Amsonia? What is that?
This is a
threadleaf Coreopsis,
I think this is one of my Coreopsis.
I love the texture of that, and right here is it just a little trio of textures that's marvelous.
Yeah, we have tried to do textures all over again, like the multi.
And some of them come as a surprise.
Yeah, this one we were talking. There's a moth that exclusively pollinates, and it works with this yucca, and we got that for the pollinator just as that surprise thing. One of our horticulturists.
Okay, I had no idea about this. Beetles topped the pollinator list.
Yes, because beetles are so prolific, and it's the largest group of insects out there. Beetles are actually one of our very, very prominent pollinators, even though you don't think about how they are.
Okay,
They're not efficient, but just by sheer number, they pollinate.
Okay, we need to start a whole new thing called Who Knew? Who knew? I certainly didn't. And now Carrie works with us, and we call her the bug whisperer because she is so knowledgeable about insects, so she probably knew that.
Got
some
flower.
state flower and some liatris.
So which one is the state flower?
Right here, the Gaillardia.
It's our blanket flower.
Beautiful. You must be Linda.
I am.
I was just talking to who was it out here?
Travis, yes. Well, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? I noticed that you're taking photographs of this. Are you doing this? Are you a photographer? Are you doing it for just educational purposes?
This is my therapy. I love taking pictures, and it's helped my anxiety and my depression. So
what? That is, yeah. It is such a good tip. So this is. I was sharing this to it earlier that I got a phone call from somebody that watches our YouTube channel. So a shout out to Connie.
Well, I'm going to follow you on YouTube because I've been doing gardening also, and it's helped.
Yeah.
And I'm off all my meds now.
Okay, so. What a testimonial. Because my friend Connie, she's suffering from real health issue, and she called this morning and she was just talking about how the garden saved her. It was so therapeutic.
And my dad's also taken up photography. So, and I told him, I said, Dad, you'll enjoy it. I said, it'll help you. And
is it not the best medicine?
Oh, it is. It is.
It is just, and even on a hot day like today, and you could come back in the spring and it's like a whole different aura.
I got out here last week and I walked 3 miles and it was like nothing, and I'm like, oh my God, 3 miles?
That's incredible.
Yes,
That's incredible. Tell me your name.
Wendy.
Wendy, I'm Linda, this is Stuart.
Hi.
And this is Caitlin, and
Hi.
She is the manager over all of this. Does she not just do an incredible job?
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. I volunteered out here a couple of years, and I'd like to get back into it.
Please do. We will take you.
Well, now you know who your contact person is.
And I don't consider myself a professional photographer, but I was also telling, I forgot his name again.
Travis?
Yeah. I told him I'd like to get with like the unfortunate community,
yes.
and do like photography sessions with them and help them.
Yeah, it's a garden.
Like senior pictures
I
and
love
stuff
it.
like that.
A garden is a gift that just expresses itself in so many different
I'll show you
ways.
some of my pictures that I've done in my garden. Well, I've already taken plenty of pictures here today, but let me see.
Oh, wow. Oh, you are a beautiful oh my gosh.
Sunrises in our backyard.
Stuart, are you jealous?
It's good.
Wendy, you are really an incredible photographer. Please, when you subscribe, would you put a comment and just say, I'm the Wendy that you met doing the garden. During the garden tour. We get a kick out of that.
All right.
Because we
That's
meet.
My grandson.
We meet.
Oh.
Well, you better bring him here.
I've seen him here before.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, Wendy, it was so nice to meet you.
Yes,
Thank you. Carry on with your therapy.
And I heard you're going to be out here in July doing a book signing.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Yes.
I am. Well, definitely come and say hey. Yeah, I did. I think that was one that I had scheduled. I came down with COVID and we had to reschedule it. Okay. So.
So I've got a question to ask you. I just lost my fennel plant in the backyard, and I dug it up and I pulled up the whole root bulb. Can I save it?
I don't know why you couldn't.
How did you loot? When you say you lost it, how did?
Well, it just, I don't know whether something attacked it.
Like it was topped or something? Yeah, go for it. Pull it up, put it in a pot, make sure it stays watered. Okay. See if it starts putting up.
But I did pull some of the new parts off the fennel, and I'm trying to propagate it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you could always eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
and
eat
I've
that
changed
fennel
my
bulb.
diet too, so we've gone away with all the fatty crap, and I'm doing oatmeal with fresh berries and flaxseed, and
everything's been transformative. Well, we're going to move on, Wendy. Thank you so much, and good luck on your health journey.
Thank you.
So you made our day.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay, now this would be Jamie's part, Stuart.
Absolutely.
My husband, my husband is anthropologist type, well traveled, loves history, loves and this is just it's our little Stonehenge. And is this your pictographs and your? So this is your ancient rock art.
Yes, our very ancient art. displays the inner workings of the child's mind. Circa 2022, the 16th of June.
Yeah, I love this.
This area is definitely a favorite
hand
for our
holding.
kiddos.
So you allow them to get their chalk out, and
we had chalk out here, especially for the festival, and let them. And because it's all, we can just easily wash it off with a hose.
And do you let them know that you can do it here, but in other areas?
Yes.
You can't do it. It's a good teaching moment.
We've got our special little spots.
Yeah, you can do it here, but not everywhere.
Let's go through the tunnel out.
Oh, see, I didn't even see the tunnel. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know, I feel like I'm at Robin Jim's now, Stuart. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
And this stays just intentionally a little bit wilder so that they have
yes.
a closed area, but we...
Stuart, did we lose you?
No, not at all.
I feel like I'm in the jungle and on an adventure.
I'll be good. Thank you, man.
I need to have my safari hat on.
Yeah. We actually had those at one point for the kiddos.
Did you? Okay, this is gonna bounce back and hit Stuart. Oh, and don't you just love that you can hear the laughter everywhere?
We have a couple tunnels that kids can walk through safely.
So Stuart, I'm going to get out of the way so Stuart can show this wonderful axis and this wonderful vista. And what a beautiful framing of the view. And into what is probably my favorite part of the entire children's garden. And that is your edible display. And Stuart and I were talking, Caitlin, I don't know how we were so remiss that we didn't come down here. I think it was the time of year, but that we didn't get any images of this for my book, because you talk about something that is just elegant and beautiful, and it's just such a little, so much insect wildlife. It's just wonderful. So is this hyssop, or is this?
This is a little sage that we've had in here.
Oh man, Stuart, you know what this smells like?
Not sure.
It smells like pot to me. It smells like cannabis
Like
to me.
Oh my.
A little bit.
Yeah, we've got our sage, we've got
Not in a bad way, but it just,
Has
little,
that skunky smell.
yeah, skunky smell. And we've got some tomatoes here. Again, you garden all organically. Do you compost here?
Yes, we've got our 2 compost bins right over here.
Oh, I didn't even see them.
Yeah, so we encourage the kids to come over and compost for us. We allow people to bring in things from the community if they want. We turn it. We let them take some home. But we have tools in there so kids can get in there and turn it over and do what they want in it. So we've got super interactive and very informative signs to kind of tell them how to do it.
Yeah.
And to just
We got
have
about
at it.
a little less than 10 minutes.
Okay, a little less than 10 minutes. Okay, this would be my spot in the rocking chair over here. But let's look, you've got marigolds here, so you're doing the companion planting things. You don't use any sprays, and yet I see no evidence of spider mite, any problems.
A lot of it is just really trying to stay diligent on keeping an eye on it, getting out here, eradicating problems before they become too big.
Yes.
That's especially these little guys right here. That's
Oh, those guys, yeah, yes, those cabbage butterflies are just.
All the little kids are like, oh my goodness, it's a beautiful white
Yeah,
butterfly.
and here
Like,
going,
yes,
oh
I
my
love
gosh.
it so much.
Yes, and they're everywhere.
They're my favorite.
So this is, so we've got edibles and ornamentals here, and I imagine you do succession planting here because you've got beans and dill and squash, and I have some that just came up and some pumpkins that just came up, and isn't it fun?
Oh, it's so much fun. We have our Pumpkinville, which is our other fundraiser we do yearly. It's a festival in October, and you bring in like 40,000 pumpkins every year, and we scatter around. You'll find pumpkins.
Okay, we're coming back for
over.
that, Stuart. We're coming
It's
back
fun.
for that. Okay, I've got a question for you, and then we'll move on quickly through the rest of this, Stuart. I do have a question for you. How do you know the difference on anything in the squash family between a female flower and a male flower, and how to know if they're going to turn into a fruit or they're just going to fall off?
just see the biology here. I'm gonna find some here. I've just kind of gone in and just try to shake it.
Yeah, because
So you're a pollinator too?
Sometimes I'm a
okay, well
pollinator.
look here, okay.
Yeah.
So is that a tiny little squash?
Yes. So this is a little bit of cucumber here that's going to be coming up. We've got, you can see.
Yeah.
Yes. And these are actually our gherkin cucumbers. I'm trying to find one that's really, that was a pretty good one.
And so it's the females that turn into the fruit, and the males do not, and they just fall off. And one of the concerns I start getting once it gets this hot is that pollination can be inhibited.
Yes.
Because it's just too hot.
Here you can see like the little ovaries underneath them that are going to start bulbing to become fruit.
So fun.
So that ovary
fun.
swelling is how you're going to be able to tell that it's
be
going
able
to
to
become a
tell.
fruit. Yeah, here's one here. You can see it. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Right there.
yeah.
Where's it at again?
Oh, yeah.
Let me get a shot of it.
Yeah,
So
right,
the ovary
right there.
underneath it has.
I point one more time to it. I'm sorry. Make sure we show them.
Yeah, here's where the fruit's starting to develop, and it's that ovary that's swelling. So.
Thank you.
And borage, what is this here?
This is our yellow squash here.
Okay.
And we've got our eggplants, got some green squash, got some okra.
Coleus, lots of tomatoes, purple basil. We've got onions going over here. Cabbages, eggplant.
Yeah. We've got some beans.
Tiny little peppers. Moth, cabbage moth.
Yeah, there's our cabbage
food.
moth.
And then, Stuart, let's end up, this is a good place because it's all about the circle of life.
Yeah.
When you pull things out, it goes directly into the compost bin, and it gives clear instructions here about what you can put in and what you should not put into your compost pile. And by the way, these are wonderful raised beds that are heavy metal.
Yes.
And brilliant, and these are, how tall are these? 24 inches tall, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 4.5 feet wide.
So easy access from both sides. Well, I cannot thank you enough.
Oh,
I
thank you
really
guys for
cannot.
coming out.
You have just made me very much and very successfully feel like a child again, and as I'm sure Stuart does too. And oh, just I love the sound of children.
Yeah.
That's a happy byproduct. Thank you so much. Can we do this again?
Please do. Please do.
Yes, we want to spread the word. I have told the Myriad Gardens, please share this content everywhere and anywhere on Instagram, and make sure to follow you guys. I guess it's just under Myriad Gardens.
Yes, at Myriad Gardens.
At Myriad Gardens. Make sure to follow them on all of their platforms, but most importantly, make sure you come and visit this very magical place.